First of all, let me say thank you to all of you that came out today to join us here for this special parade. And to our academic faculty, I just want to say our sincere thanks for what you do. Those that are represented here today on the dais with us, and those who are in attendance too, that make a difference in the lives of these young men and women every day. Thank you very, very much. We appreciate that. Today we're honored to have with us a warrior, a hero, a husband, a father, a true servant leader, Captain Charlie Plumb. His bio is in your program. If you pull that out, you have a chance to read a little more about him, but I just want to say these two things about Captain Plumb. Captain Plumb is a man who all of us can learn something from about handling adversity and challenges in our life. 6 years, almost 6 years as American prisoner of war in North Vietnam. Beaten, tortured, deprived of every human necessity and item that you might ever think of for 6 years. Only to come home to find out that his wife had just divorced him, and then he had to start life all over again. A man who has faced adversity and challenges in his life. As he says in his book titled, "I'm No Hero," he discovered for himself that negative events, and he has endured many of them, can change people positively. And that's a decision he made. He was fortunate enough today, or we were, I should say, to be able to have him talk to our junior college cadets and faculty and staff, and then just later on in the morning, talk to our prep school students and faculty. And we all walked away from that having learned some incredible lessons about life. We're honored to have him here at Georgia Military College. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Captain Charlie Plumb.
Cadets, not too many years ago, I was standing where you're standing, sweating it out on hot days on a parade field. And I'm going to say something to you that no speaker ever said to me. Rest easy. Seriously, take it easy, guys. Come on, you don't have to be a parade dress. I'm serious. I know I'm not your commander. Do I have to turn this down to your RG and tell you to... Yeah, there you go. Okay, I see a few of you. Because, well, I want your attention to what I have to say because I have a couple of important things to say to you. First of all, I'm going to say, you guys and gals won the lottery. You are here at a great school, and you're learning not only great academics, but you're learning the lessons of life. You're learning that character truly is a way of life. Whether you continue in the military, whether you go into civilian life, you will find that a baseline character will solve so many of your problems and lead you to a successful career. You're actually here learning to pack parachutes. Let me explain that to you. I sat down in a restaurant several years after I was repatriated from the prison camps in Vietnam. I was in a restaurant in Kansas City where I used to live. About 2 tables over, a guy kept looking at me, and I looked at this gent, but I didn't recognize him. He finally stood up and he walked over to our table and he pointed at me and he said, "You're Captain Plumb." I said, "Yes, sir, I'm Captain Plumb." "You're that guy? You flew jet fighters in Vietnam, you're a fighter pilot. Part of that Top Gun outfit in California. You were shot down off the aircraft carrier Kitty Hawk. You parachuted into enemy hands. You spent 6 years as a prisoner of war." Somewhat dumbfounded, I looked up at this guy and I said, "How in the world did you know all that?" He finally broke into a smile and he said, "Because I packed your parachute." I'll tell you this, I was taken aback. I was dumbfounded. I was speechless. The very best I could do was stagger to my feet, reach out a very grateful hand of thanks. He came up with just the proper words. The guy grabbed my hand, he pumped my arm, and he said, "I guess it worked." I said, "Yes, sir, indeed it did." And I must tell you, I have a lot of prayers of thanks for your nimble fingers. but I had no idea I'd ever have the opportunity of expressing my gratitude in person. He said, "Were all the panels there?" I said, "I must be honest with you, they weren't. Of the 18 panels I was supposed to have in that parachute, had only 15 good ones. 3 of the panels were torn, but it wasn't your fault, it was mine. I ejected from that F-4 Phantom jet at 600 knots close to the ground. I was well outside the envelope of that parachute. You did your job, I didn't do mine." I said, "But let me ask you a question. Do you keep track of all the parachutes you pack?" I said, "No. Now, this is the most important part of the conversation, and I think it deals directly with duty, honor, country. I think it deals directly with what you cadets are here to learn." He said, "No, I don't keep track of all the parachutes I pack. It's enough gratification for me just to know that I've served." And so, as you continue your education here at GMC, as you learn the academics and you learn to measure things and you learn to define things and all the things that you need to know as a baseline, you also learn to pack parachutes. You learn to serve. Well, I had a long discussion with that guy that night. He was a very humble guy, and he said, "You know, I'm not the only one that packed your parachute. Yes, I did the physical part. What about your mental parachute? What about your psychological parachute? What about your spiritual parachute? Who put those panels in place?" And I thought back to my mom, who taught me an awful lot about forgiveness, and my dad, who taught me an awful lot about discipline. And I thought about the midshipman prayer. Now, I know that you have the cadet prayer, and you're going to hear that in a little bit, as you do with most of your formations. And in your prayer, the last line of the cadet prayer says, "Lord, lead me so that I may lead." Just as the midshipman prayer from the Naval Academy says, "If I am inclined to doubt, steady my faith. If I am tempted, make me strong to resist. If I should miss the mark, give me the courage to try again." And so the baseline faith that you develop here, faith in your Creator, faith in your fellow cadet, faith in this institution, and faith in that flag, these are the things that will drive you in any of the situations that you encounter. I hope and pray this day that none of you are ever in a prison camp. It's tough duty, any way you look at it. But I also know that the education that you learn here and the character that you develop here will serve you well in every situation in your life. So I wish you well, cadets. I believe in you, I believe in this institution, and I believe that you are truly the future of America. God bless you all.